is well on its way, and if you want to honor the creepy holiday by playing a truly terrifying video game, then I've got you sorted. As was the case with my list of terrifying video game monsters, there are so many different games that have taken the horror genre by storm. While your choices are totally dependent on what it is that freaks you out, here are 4 of my picks. I'm gonna get this one over and done with early because you know it's coming. Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Amnesia is one of the most terrifying modern survival horror games. Much like the early Silent Hill games, Amnesia succeeds so well in part due to its pacing and constant feeling of vulnerability. This produces a genuine fear of having your protagonist die horribly, which keeps you tense and alert. Particularly since all you can do to avoid that grim fate is to hope you can run and hide better than the monsters can seek you out. Amnesia is the kind of game that you can't forget. You know, even if you'd sort of like to. If you've experienced all Amnesia has to offer and you're after something a little more obscure, you could try your hand at Five Nights at Freddy's. Five Nights came out only a couple of months ago. You're a night security guard monitoring a number of different cameras in a fast food joint throughout the evening. You need to make it through the terror-filled night where you're being threatened by a number of large animatronic animal characters who advance on you slowly hour by in-game hour. Your one defense against that is the foresight to shut the door to your room before they get you. The gameplay is so simple you wouldn't expect it to elicit much of a scare, although the problem is using the cameras, lights and door that are available to you spend power, a limited resource that when exhausted leaves you totally vulnerable and liable to jump 8 feet out of your seat when you're inevitably attacked in a sudden jump scare, resulting in the end of your game. One of the most dreadfully terrifying games I've had the misfortune of playing is Siren Blood Curse. This PlayStation 3 game is seriously violent and throws you into a cursed village. The worst part of the whole ordeal, however, is also supposed to be your greatest asset. That is, the ability to look through the freaky, usually bleeding eye holes of your enemies and sight jack them to find out exactly where they are. This can be super handy, but quickly turns horrifying when you can actively watch an enemy bear down on your hiding spot, reveal you, and tear you to little pieces. The monsters are twisted and mangled reanimated corpses, and there's far more running and hiding than there is taking advantage of the game's weapons and facing your foes head on. As you can probably tell, I tend to find horror games more successful when they make you feel particularly vulnerable. This can be achieved by limiting save points, having your protagonist be a dainty schoolgirl, or equipping them with only a camera, or all of the above. Fatal Frame throws a bevy of jump scares and ghosts at you from every corner of the dev team's nightmares, and it's insanely effective. The most effective way to attack ghosts is to hold up your camera and wait till they're at their most horrifying, which is usually when they're right up in your grill. Then and only then can you snap a shot for maximum damage and pray it's enough to knock them back. Your enemies range from little ghost girls reaching out at you to blind monks, reanimated corpses, witches, and all kinds of horrifying crap. Unluckily for those of you who are skittish, the delivery of the series is also very horror movie-esque. That is, filled with cutscenes that go all out on the jump scares. So there's no time to relax even when you aren't gripping the controller for survival. If you're lucky enough to find yourself in Japan with the ability to read the language, you might also be interested in Fatal Frame Oracle of the Sodden Raven for Wii U, which came out in that region exclusively last month. Let me know down in the comments which game you think is the scariest ever, particularly if it's one I didn't mention. Be sure to have yourselves a wonderful Halloween, and I will catch you again soon.